Excellent. All right, welcome to the Main Street Board of Directors, October 11th meeting. I'll call the meeting to order. And just, Meredith, you have roll call? Taken care of. All right, in front of you, you have an agenda in your packets. Is there any additions that would like to be made to the agenda at this time? If none, I'll entertain a motion to accept the agenda as presented.
So moved.
There's a motion. Is there support? There's motion and support. Any further discussion? All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
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 Aye. All those opposed, the same. All right, we have an agenda. Also in your packets, you have the minutes. Thank you, Meredith, for our September 13th meeting. Is there any additions, corrections, or deletions? If none, I'll entertain a motion to accept the minutes as presented. There's a motion. Is there support?
Support.
There's motion and support. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, the same. Let the record reflect the minutes are into the record. All right, we'll move right on to the Main Street Directors Report. Jay.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. A couple things. So over the last month, I've been to a couple different conferences. I went to the MEDA, Michigan Economic Development Association Basic Economic Developer Training. 3 days of pretty intense training. Covered everything from finance to marketing and attraction, business retention, expansion. Even our illustrious Mr. Tim Robinson was there teaching a course on ethics for us. So we about 55 of us throughout the state were there. Gave me some good insights as to economic development, also about some of the programs that are going on, and just talked about man, there was a lot of stuff. I'm still going through all the materials that we got, but it was definitely worth the time and the the investment there. Housing, believe it or not, was the number one discussion from all of the presenters and what they discussed and what the key was to really moving forward. There was some discussion about really how to move forward with economic development and how most economic developers are getting away from whale hunting, as they were calling it, going after the big ones, giving all the incentives and really focusing on your local community, improving the vibrancy, looking at retention of those businesses and expansion of those businesses, and bringing the small business development into the community. So it was a great reinforcement of what I thought I knew, and I learned a lot along the way. And then just last week, I was at the Michigan Main Street Fall Conference, and there were 25 of us directors that were there, along with the state of Michigan Main Street team. We talked about the focus this year was really on some personal development. So we had a speaker that came in, and they worked with us over the 2 days that we're there on conflict resolution, critical conversations, on goal setting and visioning. Man, a lot of stuff. We took our personality tests and shared that. We now have an accountability partner to kind of help us, and with someone that's in our seat, stay on task with each other. So it was really a great opportunity to reinforce some things that I had known from the past, but also to learn some new things along the way. Next thing on the agenda I have is downtown trick-or-treating. So there was a flyer in your packet. It's going to be October 28th from 4:30 to 6:30. Between us and the city of Adrian combined, we purchased about 50,000 pieces of candy to support our downtown businesses. We have this year we've taken it a little bit different, where we're getting some sponsors, 2 sponsor levels, a $500 level and a $100 level. We have raised about $3,000 right around that area from that sponsorship. So that's covering a considerable portion of the candy, probably a lot of it. We'll have bounce houses, DJ, donuts and cider, pumpkin painting. So a lot of activities going down. We're looking for volunteers. We have the volunteer sign-up sheet. We're also looking for more businesses from outside the community. If you're outside of the downtown and you want to be part of it, it's $100. And you bring 1,000 pieces of candy, and then we supply candy after that. We'll have the Main Street 10 at the Four Corners kind of shuttling candy to both downtown businesses and those that are participating. So if anybody has any questions on that, just let me know. And then the last thing I'm working on is a holiday market. So Arnold's Tailor Shop owner, Rex Chris, has agreed to rent that vacant space to us for a great deal. And what I plan on doing is putting a holiday market in there, trying to find about 10 quality vendors in there. That'll also kind of be our headquarters for Small Business Saturday. So when people come and want some guidance and direction, that way we're not in City Hall on a Saturday, we'll actually have a space. And the nice thing about that is for the vendors, they can leave their items in there over the course of the 4 week or 5 weekends that we have. And they don't have to worry about tearing down and setting up. So it gives them a little bit of benefit. It also helps market a vacant space, but Rex has got that back on the market for leasing. And so we can kind of show what might look like or what you could do in that space. Still working on what that cost will be. It won't be outrageous, but it'll be, enough so they've got some skin in the game and care about it. I will probably be at Apple this weekend trying to recruit some vendors. I think that we can find some quality vendors there, as well as maybe a couple from our farmers market to see what that looks like. And that is all I have. Any questions?
What were the results of your personality test?
Believe it or not, I have the director as a very strong, strong component.
Gotcha.
We don't want to know the rest of it.
Is there any questions for Jay? Thank you, Jay, for your report. You're the finance person still.
Yep, so in your packet, I apologize, the information in your packet was not correct. We didn't get, oh, there she is. Yes, perfect. The reports came, there was an error in the reporting process that came from finance. It just didn't print all the information in there. So at your seat, I gave you the updated finance reports. Nothing shocking out of it. We did find that.
Okay, that's good.
I did find that last month we had a charge for waste management of about $3,200 in an error because we had transferred that. That used to be the DDA budget. We've transferred it out back to the city budget. I'm not really sure why it was ever in the DDA budget, but we moved that out. And so we had to get a credit for that. And we brought it back. We do have a positive balance this far through the year. The only one line item that's really over in our expenditures, and we knew that would be, there are the banners. We're about $650 over that budgeted line item. But that's it. Any other questions? We do, and again, we do have a positive fund balance. If you look at the balance sheet, we came into the year with a $223,000 fund balance, positive fund balance.
What's this ending fund balance?
That's including this year.
Okay.
So it's going to be skewed including this year because we obviously haven't got all of our expenses in there yet.
Questions on the financial report? If none, I'll entertain a motion to put the financial report in the record.
So moved.
There's motion and support. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed, the same. Thank you. All right, Greg, are you with us?
Hey, good morning.
Morning.
I guess this morning I will again share on the progress of the Winter Street streetscape redesign. We met again with Smith Group consultants trying to and last week with our MDOT grant coordinator related to the opportunity for a TAP grant. If we include complete streets, sorts of improvements there to include bike lanes and greater pedestrian safety. And so our concept that we've kind of settled on as we thought about it with them is to tie that block, well, those few blocks of Winter Street that we're working on back to the Kiwanis Trail, which is the principal bike route through town at Maple Street and at West Maumee Street, sorry. Some coordination will be needed with MDOT itself as they repave West Maumee as to the extent of the business route next year. Hopefully we can get that done, and there's enough right of way to do that. The right of way becomes the constraint on what we can do. It varies between 60 feet of width and 66 feet of width through the study area which is Maple to Church, basically. Which is not a lot, but we can widen the sidewalks, we can add street trees, and we can add a dedicated bike lane, so that'd be on one side, it'd be two-way bike traffic on one side of the street, protected by a curb or other barrier through the area. So you know, on the one hand, the a purpose of doing that is to make it eligible for TAP grant funding, which is TAP stands for Transportation Alternatives Program. And so the idea being that it's other modes of transportation besides cars. But you know, more importantly, we think it will bring, you know, sort of bicycle tourism into the heart of downtown by allowing that opportunity. We do have bike routes already on East Maumee. Not the best bike routes in the world, but they're there and they're clearly marked. And so if we can tie those all in together, then you begin to have a route through downtown. The ultimate vision would be to go and create a further loop on Broad Street, but that's not part of the scope of this project. So moving along, we hope to apply for the TAP grant in spring of next year, spring of 2024. So thought that might be of interest to you. Because that's what I had on the top of my mind this morning. That might be of interest to the Main Street Board, but happy to answer any other questions you might have too.
Any questions for Greg? Oops. Any questions for Greg?
I do want to add, Smith Group will be at our next DDA meeting to present this, so everyone will be able to see it. They'll be doing some presentations over the month of November to provide opportunity for the public to engage.
Thanks, Jim.
Thanks, Greg. Appreciate
Okay.
it. All right, next is a board action, and Jay, I'm going to hand this over to you.
Sure.
It's the recommendation. It's the recommendation of the executive director, the Downtown Adrian Main Street DDA, approve the agreement with Storyville for 30 additional stories to be paid for from the fund balance. So as you all know, we had received technical assistance from the MEDC to work with Storyville. Storyville's done some great jobs telling stories about our businesses in downtown. We've got 4 businesses. They've been Sauce, Gallery of Shops, Chalner's, and Magritt's Razors. And the traction on social media has been great. The benefit of this for us really is it provides content. Provides content for not only for us, but also for the business owners that they can share kind of in an evergreen setting where they can use pull quotes out of it, a lot of photos that were provided as well. And this was free of charge to us. I saw the opportunity, so I reached out to Phil Ike, who is the owner of Storyville, with a proposal to do about 30 additional businesses. He agreed that he could do that. He gave us his daily rate and gave us a little bit of a discount from that, which I'd share to you in a board update. What we're looking at is engaging with both retail and restaurants. Figure that gives us the broadest diversity for customer base, and give us the best opportunity to really make personal connections with those businesses, so that the people, you know, their customers can see who they are and learn a little bit of their story. And I'll tell you the kind of the differences I see it from this versus someone else. We had a local company that did a story for my personal business through Lenawee Now, and it was a news article. It wasn't a story, right? It wasn't told from my perspective. It was told from their perspective and asking questions. So it wasn't really building that natural relationship with the reader. And so Phil has a very unique skill set where he does that. He takes some great photos along with his stories that he would provide us. He'd provide us with about 700 photos of both the businesses in the downtown, which again gives us the content that we need as we continue to focus on our social media and ramp that up. So that's the ask. Total cost would be about $5,500, which in the scheme of 30 stories like this and the amount of information is a steal from my perspective. I know some of you have personal experience with it and could probably provide additional feedback on what what do you think that might cost from your particular organization?
Is there any questions regarding this? So there's be a number of people to really give a lot of coverage to, so that's great. And I had personal experience with Phil too, and he's just extraordinary and full of energy. And he has provided us some great work. So with that said, if there are no other questions, I'll entertain a motion to act upon this or this board action. There's a motion. Is there support?
Support.
All right, there's motion and support. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, the same. All right, thank you, Jay. Move on to committee reports, promotion committee, Meredith.
Yeah, we're still working through social media. Like Jay said, our social media saw a big bump with the Storyville content, so we're excited to get that added to our social media. Is there anything I'm leaving out, guys?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of.
I think that's about it. We talked about upcoming events and how we can best support as well.
All right, any questions for Meredith? I'm gonna break a record here in a minute. I think it'll slow it down. All right, first Friday's Michelle.
Morning.
Morning.
We had a little bit of rain last first Friday. It was the last car show and last big street closure with our bands and everything. But despite homecoming and Taste of Lenawee and the rain, we actually had a pretty decent turnout. So it was good. November is our Give Thanks month. Businesses can choose their own fundraisers or way to kind of give back to the community. That's traditionally been what we do. And then December obviously is the Comstock Christmas Riverwalk. So Jay and I have been working on an idea for an ornament that we can purchase and sell. I believe he's going to sell it at the holiday market, and if we have some left, possibly at the actual event. It would be a fundraiser for the Riverwalk, and I'll show you what it's going to look like here. Let's see that. So this would be in celebration of the 10-year anniversary. This wouldn't come out of DDA funds. The city would expend the funds since the money would be coming back to Comstock. But I'm not sure if everybody's aware of how that works. We sell the trees, but the amount of money that we sell the trees for doesn't really cover anything. I mean, it covers some of it, but the cost of the trees, the lights that go on the trees, you know, putting the trees in, the decorations at the park, the electricity, the upgrades every year, it's a huge expense. And Jim Berryman does a great job of getting a lot of sponsors. But we're trying to kind of plan for the future. So we think maybe an ornament or something else each year to kind of help raise some funds for that would be good. And then I also wanted to briefly just update everyone that next year will be my last year organizing First Fridays. As some of you know, I have some health issues going on that have gotten significantly worse this year. So I can't guarantee that I'll make it through the entire year, but that's my plan, just depending on what my schedule ends up with surgeries and stuff like that. So just want to kind of make everybody aware so that you can start planning for that. I would suggest still having one point person. You can delegate some of those things, but without having someone to kind of organize and make sure that, you know, all the I's are dotted and the T's are crossed, things kind of slip through the cracks. So just maybe start thinking about that. I would also recommend it, you know, it be a volunteer. I wouldn't put that all on Jay. Jay's been very helpful since he started with it, but it's not just me. You know, I have Matt and Brett at the city that help significantly, and DPW workers. And so it's going to be a big undertaking. So I'm trying to give you as much notice as possible. That's all I have.
Any questions for Michelle? Any questions for Michelle? All good?
Michelle, thanks for all of your help with First Fridays. I really appreciate it. You know, I've learned a lot over the last year and a half working with you, and hope to learn some more about it as we continue to transition. just thanks for everything that you've done to get it to where it is today.
Agreed. Questions? All right. Town and gown, it's gonna,
We meet tomorrow, so we'll have an update in November on kind of where we are and what we're looking to do in the future, unless you've got anything to add, Michael.
No, just homecoming at Siena Heights this weekend, so excited for that.
excellent. I know I was gonna get a room there. It looks like I'm gonna be there all weekend. All right, thank you. Organization committee, I have begun to set appointments. We have set a number of appointments at this point, and we're going out to tell the story. I think with the Storyville content that we have and everything else that we've been able to accomplish with Jay and the like, it's time for us to go out there and raise the funds. So I do have at least 3 appointments set already, and by next meeting, I should have a pretty good idea of where we're headed on that. All right. Economic vitality,
We did not meet.
not me, design committee,
Jerry?
Jerry.
So, can tell that we have decorated the downtown for fall, especially thanks to Jay and Darcy. And this week, Bob and, Rotary, morning and afternoon Rotary, as well as Breakfast and Mornings, who helped make it all happen, so good job. The total expense for that, just so we're keeping track of ourselves, was $1,680. Which is pretty good, I would say.
Yeah.
We didn't do the corn stalks on the trees this year or on the light poles, because I feel like the light poles are brand new, you don't wanna do one, no, we didn't spray the paint and stuff, but also they're like nice, they look so nice, you know. So we'll think about that for next year. For the holiday decorating, we the pot. I'm hoping to do them either Monday, the 13th, or Monday, the 20th of November. Previous years, we've done a couple of days, but I think for this year, I'm gonna go back to putting all of the pots behind City Hall. And they just live there and we decorate them over a day or sometimes 2 days. Just have all of City Hall kind of serves as a good spots and keep the greenery from going away and stuff. So I'll have more details on that in the next meeting.
Awesome. Glad to hear all the volunteers came out and helped. And we have I noticed on this fall photography spot or
Yeah, so.
Jerry. Jerry, Mike.
Oh,
All right, people. So there is a spot to do photos in the Jean Christopher lot, and a couple of the volunteers, Grace Garneau, Mary Murray, and some others really kind of took ownership of making that look really great, and it does. It looks really cute, great skeletons. Thank you, Jay. So, yeah.
awesome. Great work. Any questions for Jerry? All right, Tim, what do you have for us?
A bit of good news. We had a press release, I believe last month. We got funding from the state to start or to help create the Line Talent System Center building. And we're in negotiations for a building on the east side of Adrian right now. I can't say which one yet. We're still trying to figure to close it, but be a very nice center on the east side of Adrian in conjunction with eBide and ProMedica, et cetera. Not just normal BRE visits and doing the MEDEA program that Jay was at. That was the largest class we've had in probably the 10 years I've been doing that class.
Oh, wow.
It's really cool.
Awesome.
Mhm.
Questions for Tim? All right, thank you. We're at a light speed here. All right. Are there any other DDA matters that come before this board today?
I just want to do a report.
Oh, sorry, I passed right by you, didn't I?
That's okay.
Sorry about it, Dave.
That's all right. Hey, I just want to do a wrap up for the Artilicious fundraiser for the Journey Tribute Band concert. Obviously, the event was fantastic. We had a beautiful crowd, lots of fun to be had. Our expenses ended up at just a little over $6,700, and with sponsor income and donations, we generated $7,700, and so just a total revenue of just a tick over $1,000. So,
Our profit.
yep, $1,000, $1,080 in profit. So good turnout. Thanks to Jay for letting us borrow the chairs and the tables. That kind of helped on some expenses as well. So great, and looking forward to next year.
Great work. That's awesome. Yes.
No, I missed it.
Oh. I got you. Any questions for Dave on that? Awesome stuff. All right, we move to public comment, 3 minutes per person. Anybody, if you come to the podium, announce your name, address.
Good morning. I just am here to introduce myself. Most of you I know. My boss is on I thought he was going to do this. My name is Nikki Brown. I am with Launch Lenawee now. So I will be doing most of the intake process, all of the team leading. I will be working pretty closely with most of you downtown, working on, having our makers move into bigger and better things with some of the things that we have planned out for the next few years. So as Mark and Mary travel to Florida, I will be the face. I will be the one that you'll contact. And I look forward to working with all of you. Any questions for me? Or that's your job, isn't it?
No. Well, welcome. We're
Thank
really glad
you.
to have you.
Absolutely.
Two quick things. So I saw, thank you for putting the More the Merrier. It's our 10th anniversary also for the More the Merrier pub crawl. We actually have a committee and we will be meeting tonight to try and figure out the hours and who is going where. And then for First Fridays for December, when we had a meeting, we discussed the where you have on the Jean Christopher lot, what we could do there for decorations for Christmas. And I have a friend who owns a green sleigh and he is willing to bring it for the night of the river walk, if that's something you want to have in that spot as a decoration and have people take pictures. So just get with me and let me know if that's something you'd like.
Jay, do you have a Santa Claus suit?
I don't, but the city does.
You can get it for the
And an elf suit.
skeletons.
Get it for the skeletons, yeah. And we have an elf too. We have an elf, one of our, Austin from Greater Illinois Chamber of Commerce has offered to be the elf for us during the Christmas parade.
Very nice. All right. Well, I have no comments to make at this time. Nothing different. We're still working hard on the riverfront project. There is a Maiden Lane project in process. You're going to see a lot more of that in the coming meetings as the details are starting to work their way out. So it's very exciting stuff, and looking forward to sharing when we get to that point. Are there any board member comments? I'm bringing coffee to the next meeting. Yeah, so that's a good point. All right, upcoming meeting and events, of course, trick or treat, November 1st, Friday, small business Saturday, holiday tree lighting, and the more the merrier. Yes.
I do have one thing I want to add. This evening is the next installment of the Citizens Academy, and I will be presenting with community development tonight. Not that it's open to the public, but I just wanted to let you know that I'll be presenting tonight for representing the Main Street DDA.
Excellent. Let's see you come in. All right. All right, with nothing more, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Can I get support? All those in favor, indicate by saying aye.
Hi.
Aye. All those opposed and saying.